Hey everyone, this is Kyle once again, aka Jurassic Godzilla fan. Welcome back to another review. And now for this time, I'm gonna review another franchise, a classic franchise. Well, most of the first film. Reviewing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. I'm gonna review. I have all the films right here, and I'm gonna start reviewing the classic. And I got here in this good tin original restored remastered 2-disc Ultimate Edition. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I would say, is one of my favorite classic, I would say, horror films of all time. And it is. It is considered also one of the most classic horror films in movie history. Released in 1974. It's on for 84 minutes. Really fast, really good pace for it. The film, when it came out, it got praises like Roger Ebert. He praised the film, calling that as violent and gruesome and blood-soaked as the title promises, and yet praised. He also praised the acting and the technical execution. That was good. At least Roger Ebert liked it. A lot of critics liked it too. As I read, it has a 7.4 on IMDb. That's great. And also has 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is also great. And even here, he is on the back of this cover from Entertainment Weekly. One of the scariest movies of all time, even more terrifying 30 years later. That's it right there. It has a lot of features on disc 1. It has a feature-length commentary with Marilyn Burns, who was the lead actress. Paul Partian, Alan Danziger, and art director Robert A. Burns. Has another feature-length commentary with director Tobe Hooper, cinematographer Daniel Pearl, and actor Gunnar Hansen, who played the original Leatherface. And also has trailers and TV spots and radio spots. And on the second disc has the shocking truth, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This was inspired by true events. Has a Texas Chainsaw Massacre Shocking Truth documentary, Flesh Wounds documentary, a tour of the TCSM house of the house with Gunnar Hansen, deleted scenes and outtakes, blooper reel, outtakes from the Shocking Truth, and still gallery. It has a lot of good features. Yeah, like I said, it was based on it was inspired by true events on the crimes of a real life murderer called Ed Gein, which apparently how Leatherface wears a human face. I think that's pretty much how Ed Gein was. He wore someone else's face. I think he chopped up body parts. I think too, like in this, use a sledgehammer or cut up body parts. I think. But I think he wore a human face. That's how inspired this. So, and now the cast. Again with the cast stars Marilyn Burns as Sally. Paul Partian as Franklin. In the movie, her brother in the wheelchair. Siedow as the cook, Gunnar Hansen, of course, as Leatherface, and Edwin Neal as the hitchhiker. And it was also very low. It was also a very low budget film, very well done low budget film, like about 300,000, and worldwide box office was like over 30 million worldwide. So it was a huge hit, and probably scared at the time. It probably did terrify a lot of people. And looking at the film after loving this film, well, I could definitely see why. Um, and also, to tell you the truth, this also did scare me too. Even even though like, well, I like even though a few years ago, yeah, it even though I was, how should I say it, like, even though I didn't jump or scream, but I do get the feeling that it did scare me, just how the way the film was, it was that sort of feeling. So yeah, this film did scare me. Not afraid to admit it, because I'm pretty for sure, by around the time when this film came out, probably terrified lots of people. So yeah, so even to this day, even to this day, this film is still scary. So let's look at the plot. It starts off, takes place in the year 1973, or I think it was, yeah, August of 1973. As when you have the four characters. You have Marilyn Burns and her Marilyn Burns as Sally, and her brother Franklin, and three other friends, Jerry, Kirk, and Pam. As they're driving along through to Texas to visit visit the grave of their grandfather, Sally and Franklin's grandfather. Then they know that if along the way they pick up a hitcher, they give him a ride. And he's like acting like all weird, I'll take a picture for you, So you give a picture, then gives a picture, and he was start creeping the guy out, They for fun, he's like, then he burns the picture, and he gets out a pocket knife, they're getting really scared, He starts cutting himself, so eventually they just kick him out, and he's like still screaming, like this. So as they keep on driving, they get to the place. They get to the place. And also they stop by the old barbecue place, So this as a stop. Oh, so as they're they're on the way, they stop at the old house. But they as the other guy and the girl, Kirk and Pam, they go off down the trail, As they go on the trail, they find the famous the house of Leatherface. Kirk goes in as Pam waits outside, and he's saying hello. Is anybody in there? And he hears like a small squeal in the back room, and as he gets, it's almost like he sort of trips, and then all of a sudden there's Leatherface and just hits him in the head with a sledgehammer. You hear like this sort of, like his head got beaten in from the hammer. So then he drags him in and shuts the door, and then the camera Pam goes, and the woman Pam goes in, and then she goes into the next room and trips and finds all the floors like littered with a bunch of bones, and some of the bones used to make furniture with. And she tries to get out. Then as she's trying to leave, and Leatherface starts screaming, "Oh!" And she grabs her, pulls her back inside, and just puts her on a meat hook. So there, the other three, Jerry, the boyfriend to Sally, wondering where they're at. So he goes down the trail, and he finds the house, and he goes in, and he gets in the back room, and he hears something that's in the freezer, and he opens it, and it's Pam, and it also just pops up, and then Leatherface comes in and hits him with the hammer, again. Not again, just hit him once. Well, then it's nighttime, so Franklin and Sally, they go searching off, and yeah, Franklin says he hears something and tells her to stop, and then all of a sudden Leatherface just pops up right in front of them and kills Franklin with a chainsaw. And then then they get then they have the foot chase. Leatherface chases Sally. First, she chases her to the house. She goes up. There's nobody there except the grandpa and the dead woman. I think it was like grandma, I think. But she runs back down. She escapes again back into the forest, and then goes back to the barbecue place where the cook is at. Think that he's going to help her, but he ends up tying her up, you know, like starts hitting her with a broom, ties her up and puts her in a truck and heads back to the house. And then the cook is telling the hitchhiker, you know, he's like, oh look what your brother did to the door, you know, because he saw the door up. Look what your brother did to the door, you know. So he ties her up, and there's where they ties her up for the dinner scene. Keep on stuttering again. Then the three of them were eating their dinner, and then they get grandpa, and then tells her, oh, he's really good with a hammer, you know. He never misses, you know. So he tries to put the hammer in grandpa's hands to make him hit her with a hammer on the head. But he keeps on falling. Keeps on falling out of his hands, which he put it back in. Oh yeah, that's a good one, Grandpa. Yeah, come on, yeah, do it again, you know. But then eventually she escapes and jumps through the window, and then Hitchhiker follows her out. Then Leatherface does. He keeps on cutting up with his shave knife, you know. Then all of a sudden the truck comes along and just runs him straight over. It was the cattle truck. It was. Then they chase the Leatherface comes and chases her and the truck driver, and then the truck driver goes like throws like a wrench at his head, and then he falls down and he ends up using the saw, ends up cutting his leg. I think it was I heard like a scream. I think that was him screaming. It's like Wah! I think he screamed. I think he screamed as it cut his leg. Then there's another truck that pulls up. She jumps in the back, and you know, so the truck driver he keeps on running away in the opposite direction, and she jumps. So Sally jumps in the back of the truck. She's telling him to go, and then all of a sudden she still starts laughing hysterically, you know, as Leatherface starts to swing his chainsaw around in frustration, you know, and then the film ends. So yeah, this was like a short. It was like I told it so fast because, you know, I told it very fast. So yeah, and because I got 6 more last review, so I just want to make each. I don't want to make each review like an hour long, so I'm making like these views short as I could, but I'm also keep on going. So anyway, yeah. So that's the film. That's how the film ends. So. Yes, I really do love this film. Tobe Hooper, he did a great job directing, and then he would later on do a sequel, which is number 2, which I also found. I'll get to that in the next review. There was also a couple of things I've heard of, on IMDb. I thought somewhere, I think that in real life that Marilyn Burns as Sally and Paul Partian as Franklin. I thought somewhere like real life they didn't like each other. They didn't get along with each other. I think that was on somewhere. I think last time I saw was on IMDb. I had to look that up again. No. Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, well, forget it. Yeah, it's acting a little too slow anyway. So but also they both did fine. Even though I don't think they didn't get along in real life though, but they still do fine. Gunnar Hansen, great as the original Leatherface, perfect. Um, really terrifying, really. You know, like he's like with the Leatherface character, you know, like he wore like the traditional clothes he wore, and the next thing where they take Sally, you know, he's like wearing a different I think it was like I think he wore like a woman's clothes, I think, and then like, at the dinner scene, then he wore a different face and had like women's makeup on it. So yeah, but anyway, I still like the original. And as a matter of fact, hold on a second. Sorry about that. I want to show this. What I have here is I have this as a good as a figure. I just want to show you this because since I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre a long time ago, I bought this. There is the original Leatherface figurine. Contains his with his chainsaw and his sledgehammer. A little stand for him to stand on. There's the original poster and the cast right there. And there's also two figurines of Freddy and Jason there. But I just want to show it because, like a long time ago, I bought this because it was a cool little figure thing. Never took it out of the box, so it's still in good condition inside there. So I just want to show that. Original Texas Chainsaw Massacre figurine, collectible figure. So I'll show that. Cool it is, and I still consider it still a cool looking figure. So, anything else? Like I also supposedly also in real life, I want to mention that that the original farmhouse in the movie where where Leatherface lived at. The farmhouse, I said was moved from La Fronteria to Kingsland, Texas, and is now a restaurant now. Shows a picture right there how it is like in real life there. I don't know how old that picture is though, but that's how it is. Yeah, so it's now it's a funny thing. It's now a restaurant now. Yeah, when you go eat there, where a place where when you go eat in a restaurant where it's originally used on a film set where a cannibalistic family ate other people. where they wanted to eat at a restaurant, huh? So yeah. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. I know they do a remake, and I'll get to that as soon as I can. I really do love this film. Still love it to this day. It is still considered, and also to me, one of the best horror films of all time. Also in movie history, same thing. So yeah, this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original 1974 film, pure classic. Still love it to this day. So anyway, so thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2. Later.